Wow, it turns out Dead Rising is basically anime. With just how easily his shirt was to be destroyed. So much health, man. Let me get a couple more. Boom, get a nice finisher. Blast him. What do I have? Maybe some melee. Or not. Oh no. Damn, dude. Yeah, you've been on mine all game. Ooh. You know what? Let's use the... What the heck? Oh, that is what happened. Ooh. Good thing you caught yourself, Buster. Wow, easy. Maybe I should have grabbed a couple more guns. Oh, you know what? This will probably be plenty. Plenty is how you say the words. No. Please. Ooh. Oh no. Well. Hey, you know, this is quite reminiscent of the first Dead Rising's boss, actually. Second phase? What? Let me just eat a quick ration fast. Alright. Oh, I don't like him doing that. Wow, this is really easy. This is a heck of a lot easier. Hey, you know, we're fighting a military official on top of an area. It's surrounded by zombies. How more Dead Rising can you get? Wow. You know what? That's absolutely not what I was planning on doing with that, but I'm gonna... Oh, what the heck, dude? He can wrestle too. I'm gonna take him out with my bare fists in a classic Dead Rising fashion, and hopefully it won't get me killed. Ooh. You know what? I'm not even gonna use the fist book. I'm gonna do this good old classic. Oh, classic Dead Rising, just like how Granddad used to do it.
Your lady friend Marion was right. I am the cure. Carlito made me immune.
You think you got it all figured out, don't you? You know nothing!
Well, here's something I do know. There is no cure for this.
Fuck you!
Nick, are you okay?
I'm doing just fine, Annie.
We're on our way, okay? Me and Dad. Then we have to pick up Isabella. She went back to the lab to find something. I was worried, Nick. I can't lose you now.
Don't worry. You won't. Hey!
Fantastic. We did it. After all this time, we finally beat the game with ending as top rank best ending in the game. And getting an ending, beating the game, normally gets you the Mega Man X outfit, and beating the game on Nightmare, which is like a shorter time, which is fine because the game you could play. So they lengthen the game from the 3 to 4 days that it usually is in the other games to the 7 days. But if you play on Nightmare difficulty, it sets you back to those 3 to 4 days. I think it's like 4 or 5 days. And you have to save manually. There's no autosave, I believe, is like the other caveat of it. I don't think the damage received and is increased. I don't think any of that's messed with. I think it's just those two factors, or at least those are the two major factors. But if you beat the game in that mode, you get the Mega Buster, Mega Man X Buster, which is pretty nice. It's no Dead Rising 1 Mega Buster, because it charges and it's harder to shoot bosses and stuff, but it's a fun weapon. So that is Dead Rising 3. Just so you know, I'm going to post these credits separately, and I'm going to mute them in the main part. So that's why there's not any sound there. But this gives me time to talk about the game. So Dead Rising 3, when I first saw it, I didn't like how gritty and brown and gray it was, because at that time, every game was trying to be brown and gray and gritty and realistic and Call of Duty. And it was very off-putting and very annoying. The more they showed, more trailers they showed, and the more I played, the more I realized how much closer to a real Dead Rising successor this game is than the gritty, realistic, nothing, boring clone game that it was presented to be. There was no at the time it was different. There's no cross-dressing, no wacky bucket heads, nothing crazy like that in the game that made it a classic Dead Rising game. No fun super weapons that are made of toys and weird gun hands. No eccentric bosses and psychopaths. That was apparent, at least. There was nothing that made it feel... Oh, typeface is nice. There's nothing that really made it feel like Dead Rising, but felt more like a half-made Dead Rising game. But in retrospect, I do quite like this game. This is a fantastic Dead Rising game. Even if it's not as good as 2, but it does have homages to the older games. And kinda, in a way, a good spot to end the series. On Dead Rising 4, I think they develop like even stronger parasites that are immune to the virus or something, or I think it's a new strain. I know, it's weird. It's kind of annoying. Kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, we want to make another game, so they're new. They're new zombies. I look forward to playing that after this. I still have so after this, I have, obviously I'm going to upload each of the endings as their own separate video, which will take some time. On my end, it's going to take some time to realign, but on your guys' end, it's going to be like the same day if you're watching this. Because I'm recording these a little bit in advance, mainly because it's going to take me multiple playthroughs to get to those multiple endings. So that's kind of why I like to record stuff ahead of time. That way, in case I have a sad boy period, or I'm busy with life stuff, I don't, run out of videos for a month. So yeah, I got the endings. There are 4 DLCs for this game, creatively named Dead Rising 3 DLC 1, 2, 3, 4, that involve side stories for multiple characters through the game. What the heck? A little piece of dust floating around. Obviously I'm going to play those as well. That's more of a, I don't know how long those are going to be. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near they're obviously not going to be anywhere near the length of the main game. I think estimately maybe 2 to 3 hours per DLC. I don't know. I'll have to see how it goes. I'll have to look it up to see how it goes for how I want to record this, but hopefully that won't take me too long. So after we get through all those, slug through all those, you will have Dead Rising 4 to look forward to, as well as I have Dead Rising 4 to look forward to, because I only played a couple hours of it. I never beat the game. I never got all the way through. So, first time Dead Rising history, we're going to have some live reactions to stuff that happens on screen. I do know a little bit of the ending and the DLC of Dead Rising 4, but most of the story in between, I don't know. So, cool. And I guess Dead Rising 4 kind of is like the other side of the coin for this game, as this game appeared too realistic and toned down the silly and wackiness that is the Dead Rising series is known for. 4 cranked it up a little too much. Like, you want to go karting? How about you add a bunch of things in your go-kart so it shoots explosive Christmas light bulbs? Oh, it's wacky. And look at this. The Santa is eating the elves. Whoa. Talk about capitalism, consumption, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, I get it, game. So, look forward to that. Look forward to playing that, honestly. On collectibles and stuff in that game that I didn't bother to get. But other thoughts on this game? That game's in the future. Yeah, I like Dead Rising 3. I think it's a fantastic game. If you like Dead Rising, if you can look past some of the, I guess, mechanical issues this game has, it controls a little clunky sometimes. But honestly, it's a good addition to the Dead Rising franchise. And it proves, the dialogue with Chuck there proves that Case West, I believe, in which ends with ending A on Dead Rising 2, where you don't give Zombrex to TK, and he becomes a zombie, and Chuck is saved by Frank. And then they team up and go to the facility where they meet up with Isabella and the CEO of that company. That DLC is technically canon. Probably some of the stuff in it is maybe a little less canon, like Super Russians. But the story of it is canon at least, because of the stuff that's referenced in here. And, you know, if they mention stuff in the main game with the big 3 on the end, then chances are what they reference is actual real and is canon. But it's a fun game. The ability to co-op is pretty cool. I'll probably stream this game eventually with co-op with a friend at some point in the future. I don't know when that will happen, not for a while, I imagine. I have to find someone who has the game, who has a computer that can run the game, who has time, who wants to play the game. It's just a big old confuffle. I don't know what else to say about the game. It's a fun game. Yeah, I liked it. Look forward to the 4th game. At the time of this recording, and probably upload even, I don't think there's any news about a Dead Rising 5, in which I think is fine. Because I'd imagine for that they'd bring Chuck back as a main protagonist. Honestly, like, the games have gotten bigger. You know, obviously Dead Rising 1 is a mall. It's a nice sized mall. Dead Rising 2 is an even bigger mall with, you know, casino stuff. And Dead Rising 3, this game is obviously a couple small cities, a couple small tiny towns. And Dead Rising 4 is Willamette. It's like almost the entirety of that town, and it's freaking huge. So I can only imagine, like, a Dead Rising 5, they'd probably wait for the next gen, because apparently we're apparently again on the transition from another generation of video games, even though I honestly don't know where they can go with all that. Like, honestly, graphics look great. I wish people would stop trying to push the boundaries of graphics to make them even more realistic and focus on expanding the content of the game. I would rather play a game that looks like Dead Rising 2, but is huge and mechanically dense, and you can do stuff in for like 300 hours, than have a game that looks almost photorealistic That's like 8 hours. But hey, that's just me apparently. I like substance. I'm the kind of guy that would rather get a nice big burger and a nice Subway sandwich for $5 that'll fill me up for like half the day, for like with a soda inside for like $8, than get a $30 meal that's the size of my fist. What do I know? Although the small meal would most likely taste way better than the sub sandwich. Still, I'd rather be full and content and be like, that was a great game that I spent like 2 months getting through, versus a game that I can beat overnight. That looks fantastic. But what do I know? I went on a tangent there. Yeah, no, like I said, they might push the boundaries next generation. So if they do a a Dead Rising 5, then chances are it'll be even bigger city, like New York City, you know? Big old city. It's gonna have to have fast travel. I don't know. Oh gosh, I don't know if Dead Rising 4 has fast travel in it actually. Well, I think it kind of does. Like, the two ends of a tunnel, you go to the door and it takes you to the other end. I think that's fine. I don't really want fast travel like an Assassin's Creed kind of fast travel, you know, in a Dead Rising game. Kind of defeats some of the purpose of it. But I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. These lyrics are taking forever. These are the songs, right? Well, if we're at the songs, then we're probably really close to the end. So I guess I'll just ramble on for a little bit more. I don't know. I'm guessing if they do a Dead Rising 5, it'll have Chuck as the main character. I don't know, it might even have Nick as the main character again, or Annie, for all I know. That'd be cool. You know, oh, excuse me. I'm out of water, so I need to go get water after this. I can see them having a female protagonist for the next Dead Rising game. I don't see why not. You know, we've come a long way as a society from the first game, in which the first game is like, oh look, the man is dressing in a dress. Oh, isn't that weird? To now, like, you know, people are like, all right, yeah, dude's in a dress, so what? That's what he feels comfortable with, or that's what she feels comfortable with. We don't know them. We don't know their life. It's not just like, oh, funny cross dress. So I don't know. People, society. We live in a society that has advanced and matured over the past 20 years. I don't even think it's been, however long it's been since the first Dead Rising. I think it's been like 16 years or something. I freaking don't know. But in the time since the first Dead Rising, we as a society has matured and became more understanding and accepting. So, you know, put a female protagonist in the game, sure. Make Annie. You know what? Make Katie, or Annie, whatever you want to call her. Make Katie the main character of Dead Rising 5. Why not, right? I have no idea what they would do for a story. Although I'd probably have a better idea if I've played through 4. Be honest. I don't know. Probably something like they're working on a new strain of the thing or whatever. Or maybe even, no, was thinking maybe make it a prequel, but that would be kind of a bummer. I got a thing against prequels in games in which the prequel is far more expansive than the original. Like, I don't know what's a good example. I guess maybe sort of like Assassin's Creed is an example of this, where one game is very simple. You only have a couple weapons and a couple mechanics, and then the next game that's set in a different time period. That's has more. I don't know it's a good game to explain that, but you know how a game that's set in one time period, you have like certain weapons, certain abilities, and then the game that's a prequel. You know what? Red Dead Redemption. First game has a lot in it, and the second game has even more in it, and it's far more expansive. But it's a prequel, although it's not quite the same. I'm thinking more like, you know, in game one you have your gun and sword, and you can craft things together to make powerful gems to enchant your stuff, like Diablo. And then in the sequel, which takes place, 50 years prior, you have all that, and then you have all this machinery and this mechanic and this and that and stuff. How long is this freaking going for, bud? I'm tired. I've been talking nonstop is actually incorrect. I'm talking nonstop for like the past 20 minutes. I need to end the recording so my recording doesn't mess up. Been recording for almost an hour and a half straight now. I don't like to record for more than an hour and a half to 2 hours, because the editing process sometimes crashes if the files are too large, too long. I don't know. I can't really end anything because it would stop the audio. You know what? I'll just do that. I'll just fast forward through the rest of this. I'll upload a separate video that's just the credits, so we can be demonetized and shut down by the for the audio. This is the third time I've seen special thanks to the development team. Here's the typefaces. Am I actually going insane? Is it just repeating? Am I the fool all along? I'll give it a little longer. I feel like these names are different from the names I remember seeing. Oh, please let this be the end. Has it just been on repeat this whole time? Am I going freaking insane? Vancouver production. Okay, you know what? I'll record that separate.
You're insane. Starting an outbreak to find the immune one? It makes no sense. It will kill thousands, including the orphan. No.
It's the only way, Marion. I know he's out there somewhere. Those lives are inconsequential compared to the cure. That's why I've continued to work with you. That's why I've stayed here, voluntarily, to find a cure. In an outbreak, the orphan will realize his immunity and come forward, and your friend Hemlock might find that convenient as well.
Oh, you're jealous of my work. You always have been. You're so desperate to find your mark.
You think you walk again? You think you'll be cured?
Shut up! You're lucky I didn't take your legs as well. If they hadn't stopped me...
I will be the one who goes down in history as the creator of the cure. Me, and me alone, not you. I don't care what I have to do to find it.
Why are you doing this? Is it for the money?
I don't give a shit about the money. I'm going to make up for what my brother did and restore the good name of our family. Be a hero for once and for all time. Not that Frank West, not this Chuck Green. He left me to die once. They will all pale in my shadow. And I will find the cure.
And no one will know you're a mass murderer. Interesting. I think I might finally be starting to like you, after all.